welcome back to the Burr Hands broadcast. It's your boy Zebras here to talk to you about the North Carolina Tar Heels versus the Duke Blue Devils in basketball. And this is their 247th matchup, dating all the way back to January 24th, 1920. And for fun fact, North Carolina won that game 36-25. And the last time they played, March 10th, 2017, Duke beat North Carolina 93-83. In the all-time series, North Carolina leads 135-110, but the longest winning streak belongs to North Carolina with 16 in a row, dating back from 1920 all the way to 1928. But the current win streak obviously is owned by Duke. It's Duke by 1. This year's games and all around the NCAA Division I, they've all been hit or miss. Like right now, Duke's ranked 9th and Carolina's ranked 21st, but Carolina's still projected to win by 1.5 on the line. So anything can happen. Do I think Carolina's going to win? I really do. But that's because Duke has been inconsistent. Carolina's been inconsistent. They're in Carolina, so that gives them a little bit of favoritism. You just don't know in the NCAA this year. Usually there are teams that you just knew would win. Anyone in the top 10 playing unranked you would think would win. But Duke lost to St. John's. Villanova lost to St. John's yesterday. You just don't know what's going to happen in basketball. And especially in a Duke versus Carolina game, nobody knows. On the over-under, it's over-under 168. I think it's going to be over that. But do I think Carolina's going to win by 1.5 or more? Yeah, I do. I think Carolina's going to win by like 3. It's going to be like 101-98. That's my guess. There's so much that can happen for this Carolina-Duke game. Like in the last 5 games Duke's played, they've won 3. They've lost to Virginia, and they lost to St. John's. Carolina's only won 2 of their last 5. Now it's against Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. But they lost to Virginia Tech, NC State, and Clemson. So anything can happen. Let's just look at their schedules real quick. Like, how much of an impact is this going to take on Carolina if they win this game? Because right now, Carolina is sitting in 6th place in the ACC. And Duke sitting at 3rd. If Carolina were to win this game, they'd be 7-5 in the conference, which could put them potentially back in the top 4. And that's where you want to be in the ACC, because then you have those bye weeks in the ACC Conference Championship tournament. If Duke were to win this game, they could go on to 2nd place in the ACC, which is pretty big. Like, it's not huge because you're not number 1, but it's pretty big. Here's the opposite though. If Carolina were to lose this game, they drop to 6-6. They could drop from 6th place in the ACC to potentially 11th place. And that's awful. That would mean they're behind NC State, Louisville, Florida State, Syracuse, and Georgia Tech. They'd be right above Notre Dame, but they play Notre Dame again this year, so you just don't know. If Duke were to lose, they'd be 7-4. And they would drop from 3rd to 4th. Like, there's not that big of a drop. Carolina has everything to gain from this game and everything to lose in this game. They need to make it to 9-9 if they want to be in this NCAA tournament. If they want to be in March Madness, Carolina needs to win this game. Duke is almost guaranteed in the big dance. But Carolina, they're iffy. They're 21st in the nation right now, but they're slipping, they're falling. But then they come back and win random games. And I think this game is one of those random games where they'll come out and fight. Not because it's against Duke. Not because of anything like that. I think Carolina's going to win because they've lost 3 of their last 5 games. And I think they need to come back. They'll beat Duke this week on Thursday, today. And then they'll go into NC State and Raleigh and show NC State fans that it's not a rivalry. Even though Carolina did lose to State in overtime already. Carolina's going to come into Raleigh, beat State later on, at 2:00 p.m. on February 10th. And they're going to take back what's theirs. Their pride, their dignity, their satisfaction of being the better North Carolina team. And then after that, they're going to stay at home and play against Notre Dame, who they barely beat based off a rimmed out basketball at the end of the game. They're going to beat them too. There's 3 wins. And that puts them at 9-5. And just like that, they're in the tournament. If they win today against Duke, on the 10th against State, and against Notre Dame on the 12th, they're almost guaranteed in the big dance. Then they can, they'll probably beat Louisville. They might beat Syracuse. Miami might be a loss. And then they'll play Duke at Cameron Indoor. And depending on this game will prove if they win this game on March 3rd or not. Duke, however, their schedule's a little bit different than Carolina. They play Carolina tonight at 8 o'clock. Then they travel to Georgia Tech, and they'll probably win that game. They get to stay at home and play against Virginia Tech. That's almost guaranteed to win. They travel to Clemson to play Clemson. They could lose that game. Then they play Louisville at Duke. That's probably a win. They play Syracuse at Duke. Duke probably wins. They play Duke at Virginia Tech. Still probably a win. And then Duke plays Carolina at Duke March 3rd, as stated before. And Duke will probably win that game. So, in my opinion, I think this game means the world to Carolina and not much to Duke other than the fact that it's beating Carolina. If you look back in history over the past 100 meetings between North Carolina and Duke, they've both won 50. That's crazy. Duke scored 2 more points in the past 100 meetings than Carolina. Duke has scored 7,767 points, while Carolina's only scored 7,765. That's literally the only, that's how close these two teams are every time they play. So I'm saying Carolina's going to win by 3 because that's how close it is. It doesn't matter how good both teams are. Duke plays Carolina, guaranteed close game. Yes, I know the last meeting they played, Duke won by 10, but that's still 3 3-pointers and a free throw. That's nothing huge. It's 5 normal around the point shots. It's 5 2-pointers. Obviously it's 10 free throws, but that's not a lot compared to these blowout games by 20 points, 25 points. You just don't see that for Duke Carolina games. And I'm excited to see this game at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. It will also be streamed on the ESPN app. Watch on your phone, watch on your TV, watch on your computer. Do whatever you gotta do. Listen to it on the radio. This game is going to be amazing to watch. I encourage every sports fan to watch it. I encourage you, if you're not a sports fan, watch this game. It'll be one of the best games you will see this year just because it's Duke Carolina. That is all I have to talk about the Duke Carolina game. The game starts very soon. I hope you enjoy your night. I hope you watch the game. Go Carolina. Go Duke. It is what it is in the end. I hope the game's a clean game. I hope the refs are on point. I hope it's a close game. That is all I have to talk about for the game. So I will see you guys next time. Do not